Hello everyone, Luca from ChosenPlay here with a new tutorial for you. Today I'm going to show you how you can easily create a charged attack using the Unity new input system. So what we're going to do basically is using just one button to switch in between a normal and a charged attack. So when you tap the button, the normal attack will fire. When you keep it pressed and then release, the charged attack will fire. This is probably going to be the last tutorial on the Unity input system unless specific requests are made. To make requests you can just join the Discord group. You will find the link in the description of the video. There is a specific channel for tutorial requests, so you can just join and ask there. As you can see, we are exactly where we left off in the last tutorial about the Unity new input system, where I talked about switching action maps at runtime. If you didn't see that, go and check it out. So let's start by adding an attack action. Attack. This is going to be a button, and we want this to be a press. Here it is, press. I'm going to pick a random key for the path. Let's say Z. Should Z. Okay, should be fine. We have done here. We can close this. Save, of course. Now we are going to use projectiles for this. So I'm just quickly going to create them. And just like this, we have one small and one big projectile. I'm going to take them and drop them down here, so we can use them whenever we want. Now let's get to scripting. Let me open up the player controller script. This is it, exactly as we left it the last time. So first thing first, we are going to need a timer. It's going to be a float timer, and I'm going to make it timer equals 0 in start, because we want this to start at 0. Now we are going to want a boolean timer on. Okay, now we want to have a transform. Actually, I'm going to serialize field. Serialize field. Transform shooting point. This is going to be the point where we are going to instantiate the bullets. Then you want to have the bullets themselves. So serialize field game object as a bullet for a small bullet, and another one game object with a big bullet for big bullet. Okay, we are set here. We are going now to create the public void attack function input action dot call back context. Now we are going to use the context of our action. So we have a button action with an hold context, and the context can be divided in between started, performed and cancelled. Okay, so started is when you actually start pressing the button. Performed is when you are keeping the button pressed, and cancelled is going to be when you release your finger from the button. So let's start with if context dot started timer on equals true if context dot cancelled, so when we release the button, actually yes, timer on equals no false. Okay, now let's just very quickly create a timer function. This doesn't need to be public, so let's just go to void timer if timer on equals true, timer plus equal time dot delta time. If timer on, yes, doesn't need this. Timer plus equals time plus delta timer, which means that every second the value will be added to the timer. Okay. Remember, timer at this point in time is 0. If else timer equals 0, and that's it for the timer. Let's start it to update. Now if when the context is cancelled, so when we take the finger off the button, timer is inferior to, let's say, 2, we're going to do something, else we're going to do something else. So if timer is less than 2, we are going to, first of all, let me create a new variable. This doesn't need to be serialized. It's going to be a game object variable, and I'm just going to call this bullet. So bullet equals instantiate small bullet shooting point. So when the timer is less than 2 and we are releasing the button, we are going to instantiate the small bullet at the shooting point that we are going to create in a very little bit of time. The reason why I'm instantiating this inside the variable is that now I can just access the properties on the bullet itself, like this: bullet.get component rigid body 2D dot velocity equals new vector 2, let's say 3 on the x-axis and 0 on the y, so the bullet will move. Okay, actually this should be made a little more complex depending on the direction, okay, the player is, because by using a positive number it's just going to shoot from the right, but that is way beyond the point of this tutorial. So now if the timer is more than 2, bullet will be equal to instantiate big bullet as shooting point and bullet dot get component dot rigid body to the velocity equals new vector 2 3 0, and this is really it. Now what we need is the shooting point. So let's go back into Unity. Let's create empty. Let's call it shooting point. I'm going to reset its position, put it as a child to the player, put it a little bit here on the right in this case. Now we need to, as you can see, add the transform position of the shooting point in the script and the bullets themselves to the script. So let's say let's take the shooting point game object and drag it into the shooting point here. Now let's take the small projectile and drag it into the small bullet here, and let's take it the big projectile and drag it in here. Now we should be done here. Let's open up the events action maps. There is the attack function here. Let's take the player, actually let's click on plus. Let's take the player, very controlled, attack. And now, if I did everything correctly, as I gently tap the Z button on my keyboard, you should see the small button fire, the small projectile fire. If I keep it pressed and then release, then you should see the big one fire. Let's see. Tap. Okay, tap, tap. Let's press it. As you can see, nothing coming out. I'm pressing the button now. I'm going to release now. Ta-da! Done. Just so you can see better, I've added the timer here on the serialized field inside the script off screen. So just look here at the timer. See, less than 2 is shooting the small one, more than 2 is shooting the big one. And this is it. I hope this was of help to you. If you found the video useful, of course leave a like, comment and subscribe to the channel. Also in the description you will find links to all socials. If you feel like you want to support us, you can go to the Patreon, you can join us on the Discord and get in touch directly with me, request tutorials, all the good stuff. For now, I'll see you next time.